hosts Coco and Gregory, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Hello everyone, welcome to Glam Estates Radio Show. We are your hosts. My name is Gregory Paputsian, and together today with me as always is the one and only Coco Selburn. Hi Coco.
Hi Gregory, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, and I'm looking forward to a great show today.
Absolutely, it's going to be fun.
We are very proud to have with us Mark Cohen from Mark Financial Group. He's the president. He's one of the most reputable lenders in the country, and he's number one the last 15 years. So I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of excitement today, and we have a lot of things, a lot of questions, and we're gonna get a lot of answers from him.
Well, yeah, I mean, not to put him on the spotlight or anything here, but Mark, it is a complete pleasure to have you here. I know you have been an incredible name in lending throughout the country. In LA, you're without a doubt the most recognized name in the industry. Not to toot your horn here or anything, but we know Cohen Financial Group is the place for outstanding situations for lending and taking care of clients. And it's a complete pleasure and an honor that you're here. So thank you for coming in.
Thank you for coming, Mark.
Well, thank you for inviting me over here. It's an honor to see this other aspect of the the business. But I'm excited for the interview, and let's get started.
Of course.
Or I should say our session, or interview.
No, it's great. It's great that you're here. So for those people who may not know a whole lot about you, can you share with people a little bit? Are you a local kid, so to speak?
Sure. I grew up in Los Angeles. Went to SC, have a law degree and MBA. I got into the business in about 1980, dating myself, but 1986 after I graduated from law school. And I went to law school because my grandparents really wanted me to go, so I went. So I'd never want to practice law. My mother was the first one of the first female mortgage brokers in Los Angeles, and she was successful, and I said, you know what, let me try it. I knew nothing about the real estate market at all, and mortgage market. My family had been involved with real estate for years and years, but I said I'd try it, and from day one I fell in love with the business, and it's been a great situation since then. And I've had some very nice breaks come my way along the way to get established, with the type of clientele that I have. So I've had some very fortuitous situations happen.
So you're in the business for the last, I think, 29 years?
29
It's
years.
not possible because I think he's only like 34.
I know, right?
I started 5 years old.
We know you were only 5.
Looks are
Your mom
deceiving.
had you in there early.
Looks are deceiving.
And we know about your work. Your work speaks for itself. And the last 15 years, you're number one in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
How do you keep up with something like that
awesome.
kind of? And I have to say that what people don't maybe realize is that, that if you forgive me for elaborating a little bit here,
Sure.
but being number one isn't just being number one. It is a number, but you have to have people who want to come back. You have to have people want to work with you, and you have to have a reputation for being successful and honest about what takes place. And that part blows my mind that you're able to do that in this complex market with as many changes that happen, with the government rules and regulations and the debacles in mortgage and the rise and fall.
Lots
It
of stuff.
speaks into.
That's what makes someone number one.
Well, the first thing is, though, in life, whatever you do for your profession, you have to have a passion for it. So I love the business, and if I wasn't in this business, I'd probably be on Wall Street as a trader, because I like the high intensity type A situations. I love what I do, but it takes a lot of dedication. So I work 13, 14-hour days, and I've got a great staff of about 11 or 12 people who've been with me for years and years. We've got a nice camaraderie and team, but it's hard work. Some days are better than others, of course, but you've got to just have a positive attitude and treat the clients the right way, in the sense of open communication, dialogue, and have close relationships with people that you do business with. Because myself, I've I do work with about 3 or 4 different banks, and if you give a bank $30 or $40 million a month in business, you get taken care of.
Right.
So that's the way to do it. Have close relationships with some banks and lenders and so forth.
That's great.
Yeah, you can see it. Even we've had the opportunity to come and see you at your office on occasion, and your office, your staff, your setup is so stellar. And I just have to tell you that, I mean, there are people who can be number one and can be at number one at something and aren't necessarily smooth or put together, but I love that when you come into work in your type of environment, it's obvious. You treat your people well. You know how to handle people. And I don't see you ever have forgotten anything. Like, you're like, oh, yeah, I got it.
Always on top.
All those deals that you have going on at one time, and you're like, I got it. Everything's cool. Yeah, we're here and here and
So
here.
far, so
Well,
good.
that's awesome.
But I hope dementia doesn't set in one day all of a sudden. It wouldn't be good for our business here. But no, you got to be organized and structured. I have lists that I have every day things to do, and all the lenders and all the loans that I'm working on. You got to be very organized, because as we know in these transactions, little pieces can cause issues, and issues aren't good for situations.
No. In fact, I kind of feel like you have a bit of a crystal ball that you're looking at. When you get started on a file, you're kind of like, okay, let's see. All right, I know what we're looking at here. Mm-hmm. All right, I can see that's going to happen in the future. Okay, let's handle that. And I see how you attack the concern before it gets to be
and
anything.
That's the thing that I, over the years, been able to do, because we do about 60 or 70 loans a month. You've got to, before you start quoting rates or whatever, you've got to just think about how you're going to structure the transaction, because that's it's the making of the deal. So, like in the recent deal we just closed with you, you guys are very sharp, and you told me that this gentleman's, you're not going to be able to show tax returns on him. So I instantly knew, well, we're going to go to our bank that doesn't require tax returns, and just looks at bank statements. And so instead of quoting rates that are going to be deliverable, just looking at the whole picture and formulating a game plan. And that's the whole thing. You have to know what you're doing beforehand. You can't delve into something and figure something out 2 weeks later. It doesn't work that way. So you have to take an hour or half hour, discuss it with yourself or whatever, and then you go from there. And that makes the process much, much easier.
Yes. We can see that you really handled that great. We have unfortunately seen different transactions over the years where a lender may mean well, you know, and it's not that they intended to do something incorrectly, so to speak, but unfortunately there are ways that it can be set up from the get-go that it causes a problem and a glitch, and it can kill it from taking place for the most part if it's done improperly.
Yeah, I mean, everybody makes mistakes. I'm far from perfect, and I've made mistakes. And when I do make mistakes, I pay for it dearly. So, unfortunately, nobody's perfect. But you can minimize the risk by just knowing what's going on beforehand. And I usually catch mistakes, only a day or two in the transaction. So, not much time is lost.
Nah, I've never seen you make even a faux pas. I haven't seen it happen.
I wish it was that easy.
No, it's been great. It's great.
Let me interrupt you here for anyone who's listening right now and want to make a call. Our phone number is 818-570-5085. You have any questions you want to ask Mark about lending or anything about real estate, buying, selling, anything? Call us, 818-570-5085.
Do you think we'll get any calls from Greece?
Maybe.
You can ask.
From the home
Everything
country.
is possible here.
From the home country.
That's right.
Right.
It'd be like, so how do we resolve the problem happening in Greece?
Actually, even half of them sleeping, the other half are partying right now. So it's 4 o'clock in the morning there. So,
So no one's going to call
It's
us.
still young in Little Athens.
That's right.
Is it Old Athens or Little Athens?
Athens.
No, I know Athens, but the old town, is it Old Athens?
No. It's just around Acropolis, that Plaka.
Yeah, that little
The ancient Agora is there. Yeah.
Old Athens, yeah.
Old Athens, yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So I know there's been so much talk about, and speaking of Greece and China, and it's so much movement. As we've talked with our other guests and kind of enlightened people about the impact, as we know, of real estate in the world and the world in real estate. Do you see any of the changes that are happening worldwide? That obviously, this is we're just having a conversation. No one's going to hold you to it. But although if you can make it happen, everyone's going to love you for it.
If I only knew all the answers, I'd be in the Caribbean right now on my yacht.
I know, right?
Well, you could be.
Not yet.
You're enjoying. It's good. We don't want you to go anywhere. So yeah, no, don't stay.
I'm here.
We're very happy.
I'm here.
So, with regard to China and they're changing their currency, do you see that? Any of that? Do you feel like any of that will have an impact here?
Well, it's starting to already have an impact. The interest rates have stayed low because of the world weakness in the world's economy, especially in China, the perceived slowdown, and obviously in Europe and so forth. So, and even in Brazil right now, there's it's a bad situation. So you go outside the U.S. and it's a different picture of what we're accustomed to here, because I think pretty clearly the economy in the U.S. is by far and away the strongest in the world. And you wouldn't have said that 7 or 8 years ago, but we withstood the test of time, and now we're benefiting from it. So it's artificially held interest rates down, and obviously the Fed wants to raise rates.
Oh yeah.
And there's no doubt about it. They can't be any more clear that they want to do it. And I'm not so sure how much it's going to really affect the mortgage market, but they are going to go up at some point in time here, and I'd say probably in December here. And this Friday the unemployment report comes out, and the job creation is starting to get picking up steam, and wages, and that's one of the things that the Fed looks at in determining the strength of the economy. And so you're starting to see a good amount of strength. So the pressure is on to raise rates, but then again, you have the world's other economies or leading countries like China telling them not to raise rates, because that would really hurt their currency against the dollar.
Definitely.
Sure.
What do you see for 2016? We have elections coming and all that. What are your projections for next year?
Yeah, get the crystal ball out. Go ahead.
Right.
Okay, crystal ball. If I only knew. So I think as far as the real estate market is concerned, my take is, if you look, I'm just talking about the Southern California area, and especially our market here, our sub-market here. I think it's strong. I mean, I do notice there's more houses coming on the market.
We're in a good trend.
Yeah, it's a good trend, but there's and it's a good market in the sense that you're not having 50 offers on every single property.
Yes.
So now there's 1 or 2 offers, so it makes doing a transaction that much easier now. It's
actually
6 months
doable,
ago,
right?
Yeah, doable. So pretty much if you pay the offering price for something close to it, you're going to get the house for the most part. And there'll be 2 or 3 offers, which is the normal market, which is what you want to have. But I think the demand's good. I mean, the economy here is very, very diverse in Southern California. I mean, you have obviously entertainment, technology, biotech, manufacturing. It's a very diverse economy, and surprisingly enough, or not surprisingly enough, the Southern California economy, just LA County, is the 7th largest economy in the world. So we have our own country within our country. Right. So it's strong.
It's an amazing place to be. The diversity. That's one of the things that I've loved about also being a SoCal kid myself. That there's only like 4 of us, I think.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So I'm glad to meet my brother here. He's finally here. Yes. And that's what I love about the base of LA is there's so much diversity. You can go next door. You can go from one extreme to the other. It's like you're literally in the middle of any world market of living environment. And it also brings in a lot of different diverse incomes and backgrounds and jobs. And that's been, for us, has been exciting and challenging to help clientele who have, especially the majority of our clients are not necessarily regular technical employees, but rather 1099s. Right. And finding someone who can handle and work with deals that are in that area is not easy. So knowing that you do this is like,
no, it's changed, because before the last crisis in 2008, it was obviously very easy to get a loan without tax returns and so forth. And starting in 2009 with the changes, it really made it very difficult. And up to about 18 to 24 months ago, if you couldn't show tax returns, for the most part, there's no loan. Right. And how many people are there who are very successful, who are in the cash business, or self-employed, who don't show all their income? And it's just the way it is.
Yes.
Whether people acknowledge or not, if you're self-employed, you're not typically going to show everything you make. And people were getting punished for it by having it, and they'd have equity in their houses, cash, and great credit, and they couldn't get a loan. So it's really inequitable. So what you've seen is then an opportunity by regional banks to seize on this option, or not option, I'm sorry, this opportunity for people to finance homes.
And thank God they have, because I felt the same way when I was seeing a lot of people that there seemed to be very qualified across the board, and yet it was almost like they're being punished.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, yes, but you don't fit in this
Exactly.
tiny little loop. And thank God it's loosened up.
Yeah, it's created a lot of opportunities, and look, the American dream is to have your own home, and it's true, and I see that everybody works hard to have their own home. It's just the embedded in most Americans' mind.
Yeah.
And especially I like LA though, because it's the more money you make, you people keep on moving. So it's true.
It's true.
I've noticed that because I've been in business for a long time, and 5-6 times clients have moved over the years, and 20 years. So I have a lot of clients who I've developed close rapport with over the years. So you see people move in LA, buy second homes, and that's what makes this such a dynamic market, Southern California. And I think for what we all do, it's by far the best market to be in.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, I love the challenge. I love the excitement. I love that. There's always the human element for me as well. Like I really like that we can like help people get to this other place. But you're right. People are moving like once every 3 years, if that.
Now, yeah, it's once every 4 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at our buddy. He just closed a deal in July 3rd, and he's like, hey, listen, I think I don't want to live here anymore.
Yeah, my daughter
Like
doesn't
that.
like it so
Yeah.
much, so.
So exactly.
He's like, so what do you think we can get for it?
Exactly. Well, at least we have a good market where you can get away with
Right.
that, not really get hit hard. But getting back to your question, though, it's important to have these kinds of programs because it creates opportunities for people to get their own homes, and you have to obviously qualify based on certain aspects of showing bank statements and having good credit, being self-employed. But it just feels good to get people into homes that 3 years ago or 4 years ago couldn't buy one, and for no justifiable reason.
That's right. Yep. And they say right now that home ownership in the country is as low as it's been since 1967, I believe.
Yeah.
And we're hoping that that's going to be a trend and change. And they say the challenge will be next year. They're still projecting that next year will be the tightest. But at the same time, I think there's more opportunity than they originally thought, because they were originally saying that 2016 it was going to be the massive housing shortage. But I think at this point in time, we're looking at more people are feeling secure because of the numbers, because of the opportunities, because sellers can put their home on the market and get also to another home.
That's the thing.
That was happening all the time, where I'm sure you saw that left and right, and you see it every day.
Because there were a lot of sales, like what you're saying. You're right. 2-3 years ago, there were a lot of sales, but people didn't have the equity in their houses, or 4 years ago, and so there'd be a sale. That'd be it. People would be short selling their house, and that would be it. Now the amount of short sales is nominal at best.
Right.
And those people are selling their houses now are taking equity out of their house, buying the next house up. So it creates a good situation and a lot of velocity in the market.
Yes, absolutely. And we're seeing too is that, and that's coming up now from more sellers are more confident. They're coming in this direction too, because they're feeling like, okay, and now if I put my home on the market, I can qualify for a loan.
Right.
Yeah.
And they weren't able to qualify
Right.
2 years ago,
Yeah, there's
like
much
they were.
more optimism and the realization that yes, I can qualify for a loan if I'm realistic and and I'm disclosed and what my situation is. So there are definitely opportunities.
Yeah.
But still, it's still hard though. I mean, in the sense that you have to be associated with the right institution or lender to get the right deal, because the major players, the money center banks that we all know, they're not open to those, to loans
No.
without tax returns.
No, and it's really kind of sad, because without those opportunities, that eliminates a huge portion of our population here.
Mhm.
So
Especially in Southern California.
so what number should they be calling you at, Mark?
My number
310?
310-777-5401.
Yeah.
And usually they're about 13, 14-hour days, so good chance on there.
And he
know-
actually takes the calls.
Yes.
He
Right.
takes the calls. He calls you
Shows
back.
up on the phone.
300 a day.
Yeah, and he's going to get back to you no matter what. I mean,
No, great
It's
customer
great.
Even last
service.
night, late night email to you last
I
night
saw
about
that.
11:30.
I like, man,
Oh, good.
love it. I
Great
can't tell you how
customer
much I
service,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
for sure.
And it means a lot to us too, because it's not that you can just necessarily, get a loan funded or get it done. It means more to people, I think, as a buyer or a seller, no matter who it is, to know that you have someone reliable on the other side who's going to get back to you, who's going to tell you what's really going on,
Communicate. Yeah.
and tells you what to expect. That calms the nerves. It helps the clients. It helps everybody know how to make it work for everyone, because they say that moving is more stressful than dealing with a death in the family.
Right.
That and building a house.
Oh
I
yeah.
know by personal experience. So. No, but you're right though. Communication is the key to anything in life, but especially in our business, because it's 30-day transactions. So everybody's got to work as a team, and like in our deal together, if you work as a team, then things typically the results are much better.
Yeah, very much.
And open communication, because just one quick side notice. What was it? I was dealing with a client from Australia, and total unintentional error, but he didn't tell me he owned 5 or 6 properties when he filled out the application, and we got his tax returns like 2 weeks late, or 2 weeks away from closing, and it caused, and it wasn't his fault, but that was lack of communication. His first time buying here, nice guy, so not like he was BSing me, but we had to catch up on things, and we did close a little bit late, but what can you do?
Hey, closing late's acceptable. You know
my,
what I'm
my
saying?
deal's closed. Believe me.
Closing.
They'll close.
They always
Some late,
close.
I will acknowledge it, but not too late though. Maybe a day or so. But the deal can't be done.
It happens
They
many
will know
times.
well beforehand.
Absolutely, and that's a really interesting point. Having clientele, so many clientele who are international, that brings up a whole different kind of, not just 1099, but international clientele. I would imagine that's a good portion of the business that you complete every year.
It's picked up markedly. 5 years ago, maybe a couple loans, 5 or 6 loans a year. Now it's about 5 or 6 loans a month minimum.
Wow.
And huge influx of people, obviously from Europe, Canadian, Australians, South American, Brazil. So I got clients from Greece.
Mm-hmm.
So just a
Hey,
exactly. So wide variety of clientele, and they see the opportunities here, and they know their money's safe here. So that's, I think, is driven up the prices a bit, because they'll maybe pay 10% more, but they know the money's here and the money's
Right.
out of their country. So I had a Russian client who bought a house for about $10 million a year and a half ago, and he pretty much overpaid for the house by $1 million. And I said to it, you're overpaying for the house. He goes, I don't care, because I just want my money out of Russia.
At least he's putting his money here.
He just wants it out. So
Wow.
Wow.
So
Same with China.
yeah.
Same thing happens. with China.
People they know it's safe here, and it's safe here. Nobody's taking their house away,
Right.
or you make
Yes.
the payments, and you're fine.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to say same things happens with Greeks, but Greeks don't have money to bring here. But
Yes,
anyway.
they do.
Well, you saw.
He's so
that.
humble about that.
There is a sidebar on CNBC 4 or 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
It showed an aerial shot of Athens,
Yeah.
the coastline,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been there before, and it's obviously a beautiful country. But
Thank you.
the amount of people that showed income, their tax returns in excess of $1 million in Greece was some low number. I think it's like 1,000 people. And then they took an aerial. They took it like in Athens. They took an aerial view of the coastline and have all these
With the pools.
The pools.
The
and
pools,
the
yeah.
pools. So that's
You
like
know-
a dead giveaway.
You know what they were doing?
That cash
they were
versus the
covering
taxes.
Yeah.
They were covering their pools for like a year, because they knew like Google Earth was
Yeah,
at the
that was
beginning,
it, that
and
was it, yeah.
and they were covering their pools so they won't have to pay, because then the government was going after them, was
Yeah.
showing the pictures on Google Earth.
Right.
They were going after them, so they were covering their pools.
Dead giveaway.
Yeah.
Sort of opened up
You
eyes.
might make more than you're actually saying you
exactly.
make.
Exactly.
But it's not the Greeks. It's like the government is not asking, like,
Huh?
taxes here, you get paid, first you pay taxes, and then in Greece, it's not like that. Like, they send you a piece of paper, you want to say how much you think you made, whatever you want to do, like, send it back. Okay, that's it.
It's not exactly a
There's
tax
no control,
return.
there's no right, nothing.
It's going to get tougher, though. I mean, it has to, and that's why part of the problem why they're having issues.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to change, but you're right. And plus the lifestyle there is completely different. You can make a little bit of money and still live in a great mansion near the coast. You're,
Right.
It's not that big a deal.
Not a bad way of life.
No,
Not at all.
not at all.
Not
You
a
can-
bad way of life.
You can take that yacht right over there too.
Exactly. Sounds good.
Island hopping, stuff like that.
You know,
Yeah.
you play your
Crete.
money right. That's right.
Crete, Majorca, why not?
Yeah, exactly. I have family in Crete as well. I
Nice.
used to go every other year.
Dry Island, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I was there a couple years ago. Beautiful.
It's good stuff.
Nice, good food. Olive oil.
Let's plan a trip.
Feta.
Let's go. Exactly.
Let's plan a trip. Yeah,
Island-
it's great.
Island hopping in the Greek islands. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
Santorini, why not?
I'm just selling my a family friend of mine a beachfront condo for it's like
This is crazy talk
the-
now.
you
Here it
know,
comes.
the condo is here and like is the street and then the beach. 40 grand. 1 bedroom.
Nice.
It's like,
On
you
the
can
beach.
walk
Like
to
you
the
walk
beach.
you walk 30 seconds
Oh,
away.
and they do offer financing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's
Nice.
$200 a month.
Oh, jeez. Jeez.
And actually it's like
How can you
yeah.
afford not to buy?
I know. It's so many opportunities that are opening up right now.
Yeah.
Long term is going to be really good.
Oh, absolutely.
Whoever is
It's like an investor's paradise right now. We
Yeah,
even
I
have
think-
like the.
I was just in the south of France about 5-6 years ago, and just looking at properties, and this is like probably like 2009, 10,
uh-huh.
and just giving away properties, and I know
Yeah.
they've escalated, foreigners moving in, Russians and so forth, and just could have made a lot of money there.
Yep.
Yep, and that's what we see happening for Greece now, because now everything's been sort of settled,
Yeah.
and it's looking really promising. It's like an investor's paradise there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And islands have their own economy. It's like kind of separated from the
Yeah,
mainland.
right. Because even when they had that the no cash,
Yeah, the economy.
didn't affect the islands at all.
Yeah, because the economy of the island is not from the Greeks. It's
Right.
from around the world.
Yeah, it's
so
tourism.
they have the rock solid.
They're kind of like, what? What's wrong?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Although it's like 6 months, like 4 to 6 months a year, where they're making the money. But still, the locals, they work 4 months and they sit all winter.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
And I love that you were sharing with us about the gentleman who was buying the property was willing to overpay, but to have it safe here. I love that you're actually sharing with people. You telling them your actual opinion. That's, and you may not realize that because you're in your own group and you handle it in a really professional way. However, we have had other buyers over the years who have been very sure that they want to work with a particular lender for whatever relationship they have built with them, and of course, we're not going to change that.
Sure.
So that experience in hearing what they're going through and what they do and the differences, they're pretty big, Mark. They're pretty big.
There are big differences.
Big differences between working with you and working with, not to put anyone down. I certainly don't mean it that way, but it's really important for buyers to understand that working with someone who's reputable and takes care of business and works in particular with looking at the entire situation. And I heard you say that you told them, you're overpaying for this.
Yeah.
People don't do that.
Who
yeah.
does that? I mean, we do that, but we know we're alone.
No, he was very very clear, because the appraisal came in pretty much the sales price, but he just, when I met him, I'm overpaying for the property, but I don't care. It doesn't make a difference. I just wanted my money, because he bought a lot of properties he bought about 100 apartment buildings in very wealthy in Miami.
Wow.
He cleaned up on it and did very well. And he just bought this house here, just didn't make a difference to him.
Yeah.
He was planning to come and live here in LA?
Yeah, he lives here.
Yeah.
Now, you must have also people who are coming and they're like, okay, look, I'm going to sell my house. Do you have any recommendations on what I look for with a lender or what they bring? Do you tell them, hey, have them screen them through me so I can tell you whether or not that's going to be a good deal?
Yeah, I mean, being around for longer than I want to admit.
15 minutes.
15 minutes, yeah, 15 minutes. I mean, I help, not patting myself in the back, but if listing agents know that I'm involved with the deal, the clients usually get the deal. If it's the same, if it's
That's right.
dollar to dollars, and that's,
Yeah.
and I can't tell you that's how much it's helped, not myself, but clients get houses, and they know that if I say something, it's going to be good, and it will come to fruition.
Right.
which helps everybody.
Definitely. And I know for a lot of times when sellers are looking to put their home on the market and they go, okay, look, I'm usually the buying side. Now I'm going to be the seller. Now, what do I have to look for? I haven't really been on the other side of what to look for in a lender, and their agent will come to them and say, okay, here are the deals. And, Jimmy Joe Johnson's got a lender, A1 lending, and you've got 5 or 6 to choose from. It's really important to know.
Well, lending it's not like in 2008. It's you have to be pretty sophisticated and sharp and know what you're doing to get transactions through, and that's with my years in the business has helped me. You got to have everything planned out and be able to have dialogues with people and seem like intelligent. People like doing work with people who communicate and also have a opinion about things, but listen to other people's opinions and communicate and are somewhat halfway intelligent. So, if you know the markets and so forth and you can talk, it's just how you present yourself and communicate, but most importantly how you execute, because that's what is the long-term result.
Wow. Yeah.
Definitely.
So when you were originally going to law school, it probably didn't cross your mind that you were going to be in lending at that point,
Absolutely.
What did you
not.
want to do when you were like a kid? What was your dream?
Well, my dream was
no? Oh,
to
that's
be
my favorite question.
Well, I always wanted to be a pro baseball player.
Oh yeah.
But that was that came and went quickly. And I've always been a huge sports fan, so that was every kid wants to be an athlete, professional athlete.
Right.
But realization set in that wasn't going to happen. Then I always was involved in the stock market and real estate with my family, so I was wanting to become a trader, investment banker on Wall Street, but I just didn't want to really get into the New York situation, moving there. So stayed here and
The weather's better. Glad you stayed.
exactly. I just stayed here in Los Angeles and got involved with this opportunity with my mom, and who I'm forever grateful to get me involved. And it's been every day. How often can you say you like going to work every single day of your life?
Right.
And I do. I wake up at 7 o'clock or 6:30, whatever time. And honestly, I can say I like going to work every day. Some days better than others, of course, but
And you
that's
work
good.
together with your son as well. You have with your son in
I
the
work with
business,
my
right?
son, yes.
That's great. That's
How
great.
cool is that?
Yeah. Yeah, another.
How is he doing?
He's doing great. He's a really good kid. He went to SC also. He's very proud of him. He's also got a side restaurant concept that's doing quite well. It's in Zagat and been written up for 30 top restaurants in Los Angeles.
Wow.
Or top 30 young people, restaurateurs in Los Angeles. He's in Zagat, and article in Bloomberg on him. In Bloomberg, I should say.
Awesome.
So I'm very proud of him, and he's doing quite well.
He's gonna be
Wow.
#1 like his father.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
That's so great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know when you send when we get updates from you, I like getting the whole feedback of where you're at with things. It's a pleasure to know,
Yeah, it's good.
he's involved.
Yeah, because it's been passed on. My mom loved working with me. I worked with her till 1999 or 1998. Just it's time for a little change, and then Seth's worked with me for the last 5 years, and it's fun. It's working with family.
That's a
Definitely.
good thing. Yeah, that doesn't always work out for
it
some people
no, it
to
doesn't. No,
do
it's-
that.
No, never a problem ever.
Wow.
Lucky. I'm a lucky man.
That's fortunate. That's fortunate. And speaking of lucky people, I know that people are coming back in the market after they had, gone through some tough times with foreclosures and short sales, and coming back on the market. Do you have any words you might give to someone who's out there, who had previous experience? Maybe as I have given the multiple millions of times the example of the gardener who has making
Right.
it was told to say that or not told to say, but was an stated income mortgage for, he made $50,000 a month. Right. I'm
No
sure that
mas.
worked out.
Doesn't work anymore. No,
No
there's a lot of opportunities for people, for self-employed people, and let's say people who forget the self-employed, the people with short pays in the last couple of years, and there's lots of people, and our bank here offers, if you had a short pay yesterday, you can get a loan. Now,
Seriously.
Yeah, only one. Last 5 years, you have one short pay, and it could literally be yesterday. You have to show tax returns and qualify and have a minimum credit score like 700, 680 or 700. But so it's a second chance loan. How many banks are there that offer that? And yes, you pay a premium to the rate, but it's like 5.5%, 6% for 7 years. So it's not that bad.
No, that's not bad at all.
And it's really helped a lot of people out, because a lot of times it happened 3-4 years ago. Things weren't within their control. People's income were down, they're losing their jobs and so forth. And people, they hung in tough. They maintained their credit, got their income back to the previous level. So you got to give them accolades for being able to do that, because that happens a lot. There's still a lot of people who were affected by the short pays, a lot from like 4 or 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, and they went into the rentals, and that's the worst thing that they feel, is that they're usually in a rental that they're paying in a way more than they would have if they had a mortgage, and then they have no way to save.
And no tax deductibility. It's tough, and emotionally it's tough too.
Very.
Giving up your
Emotionally,
house.
yeah.
It's tough, because there's actually, I was just at the movies the other day. There's a movie coming out.
Yes.
That's
I like that you see a lot of movies.
Yeah. My spare time, late night movies. But about the process. It was a documentary.
Yeah, I just heard about it
You
actually
discussed
this
it.
morning.
You know better than I do. Go ahead.
It was one that's coming up. Isn't it about? Oh gosh, I was hearing about it this morning. It was on the news.
It's just about the foreclosure process. How it
Oh, yeah.
affects
I
people.
told you we should go see this one. Did you
Yes.
see it?
I saw the previous one. I was at
Yeah.
the
I
movies
want to go see
a few
it. Maybe
weeks
we
ago.
should all go together.
Yeah, we'll see that.
Yeah, if you just let us know when you're leaving the office, we'll meet you there.
Exactly. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah, no, it's.
It will be late.
Yeah, for sure. That's about the time I'm sending emails out too. Hey.
We work
I'm
until
working on
10,
it.
11. Anyway.
Yeah. No, I have a thing about just at least emailing the people back at night. I just I know how I want to. And that's the thing, how you guys conduct your business. I see what you guys are very hands-on, very professional. People want, and the easiest thing to do in our business is just forget the communication. Just treat people and just like how you want to be treated. So if you do that, it's such an advantage.
Right.
And just return phone calls. It's so basic. And people ask us the success of what you do or what I do. It's just really basic, common sense.
Right.
People don't get it though. Which is fine. It works to our advantage.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Then we don't stand out if you don't have that.
Right. Exactly.
We understand that they're in a very stressful position, buying a house, the biggest asset. We have to walk them through. We have to hold their hands. Like we have to.
Right.
Have to be with them.
And then plus, there's always so much they have to kind of be re-educated about what's happening currently. Like if they could have this is maybe their 5th or 6th house, but maybe they haven't bought in 4 or 5 years,
Right.
and it was a completely different market, or
Exactly.
it was a different rules.
expectations.
Yeah, setting those expectations are really important, and helping people figure out what works best. And investors are have completely shifted from one direction to another. They used to be looking. We used to get calls all day long, like, oh, I need a short sale, I need a foreclosure.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know, but it's less than 1% of the sales that happen.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
You
that's changed dramatically too, because I think there's a lot less investor properties now.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one part of the market that I think you got to be careful in, because there's a lot of spec houses. I can this is my opinion, and I could be wrong, but in some of the parts of LA, like in West Hollywood.
Yeah.
And this is my opinion, so if I'm offending anybody, that's just my opinion. No, but
you
it's
are
just
not going to offend anybody.
No, I just think in West Hollywood, you see these houses for $15-20 million that are being built, and they paid $5 million for it, and they're selling for $20-25, and they put a few $1 million into it. I'm starting to see the prices come down, price reductions on those. So I think that's like one part of the market, like the spec in the high-end architectural houses, where the houses, they're beautiful houses, but but there's a limited appeal, because in the Hollywood Hills, for example, you have a market where it's not a family-oriented market at all. It's just for single guys,
Yes.
sexy houses, and
That's right.
and just they're getting very pricey, and I just think that's one part of the market where you could get you're starting to see price reductions already.
I would
see
agree.
it,
Last week we were showing a $10 million house, and it was great, the views and everything, but the house inside.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
10 million.
It's like,
It's kind of
yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Like,
exactly.
why?
Give me some character.
Yeah.
But
I get the views, the location, and everything.
right.
You know.
But yeah.
I-
Wow,
It's-
10? Why?
You're
10?
right that you say about
Who picked
character.
the number?
It was kind of like, I get in there and I was like,
Who picked the number? Like, why?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I
Well,
like,
that's
Very
it.
basic. You know, no character, not so much. You know, character.
yeah.
You know,
I've been saying
I
this.
don't
I've been saying this for like 6-9 months. I'm pretty confident that's going to get hit that part of the market. Not to say it's going to be a weak housing market at all. I'm very bullish on the housing market
Yeah.
because of our diverse economy. But I just think the spec houses and people buying houses for $5 million, putting out for $25 million. I think they're going to get hit pretty good.
I think so
yeah,
too.
I see those. And then plus they stay on the market for a really long time.
Yeah, and that shows you the market right there. Because if
That's
the
right.
house is going to sell, it's going to sell quickly.
That's right.
Yeah. So there's something fundamentally wrong with the price of the house.
I agree. And they're usually when they've jumped that high a number, they're usually right next door even to a house that is
Yeah.
in the 10. And you're like, I don't get it.
Because the
I don't
markets
get it.
they're pretty efficient. I mean, the markets are efficient. So if the house doesn't sell, there's a reason why.
That's
Like
right.
it's overpriced.
That's right.
So, Mark, really quick, we are gonna have changes coming October 3rd. What do you see with regards to those? Like, what's gonna
With the
happen?
TRID, as
The
they call it.
lending, in the
Yeah.
real estate in general.
I mean, long-term effects are going to be nominal. Basically, what it's for is for further disclosure of the real true costs of loan and what the terms are and so forth. So basically, bottom line is you're probably going to take an extra 4, 5, 6 days to close the transaction. People are telling me 15, but I think our company can make it very, very efficient. Basically, you can't 3 days before the deal is supposed to close, you get a final closing statement from the bank. You'll look at it, you'll agree to it, you have a cooling off period, sort of like a refinance where you have to wait 3 days. And then if everything's okay,
Right.
then you sign the documents and funds, or sign funds the following day, which is great, but that's going to hold things back a little bit because the normal processes, getting the disclosures out is going to be a little more time consuming. So people have to
Right.
adapt to it. And the main thing though is now, let's say you have you guys are representing a buyer and you're getting a credit for $5,000 for closing costs for damage to a roof, let's say.
Yeah.
It all has to be done beforehand. You can't say at the last second, well, Mark, we have a credit for $5,000.
I know.
Doesn't work that way. So now we're going to start the process all over again. That happens all the time. It's like, and
Wow.
especially now, like people throw it in like on the closing statement. It's like, well, how come you didn't tell me that? Well, now it's, which makes it, obviously slows things up. So now it's got to be all disclosed up front. So it's got to it's trying to make it more efficient. It's going to be a process for everybody and a learning curve. But and banks are going to be very, very careful though, because they're all responsible for the mistakes. So if they are wrong on interest rate or wrong on fees, the bank pays for it. So the government's really put the onus on banks, and I think that works to our advantage to a degree. But there's going to be close scrutiny of closing statements and things before closing statements and documents before the file's ever approved and ready for closing. So it's going to be
I think
tight.
at the end we're all gonna adopt, and
yeah. Look,
we have no other choice. But
there's no choice. We'll see if there's a change in the parties in a year and a half where there's a little more flexibility, more business oriented. But right now,
Right.
it is what it is, and we all adapt.
So let me ask you a question. So when we ask for if we're working with a buyer or working with a seller, we try to get that squared away in the first 15 days or so. If there is going to be some sort of a credit involved, are you telling me that people come at the last minute and say there's?
Oh yeah, last day.
Didn't even cross my mind.
It shows up. We're drawing documents up, and it shows on the closing statement, or there's an escrow amendment. It's fine, but it's just not going to happen.
not everyone is so glam, Coco.
I
Exactly.
see.
Exactly. The glam.
That's funny. Yeah, I didn't. It doesn't occur to me to do that at that point in the time to do that. Wow, you threw me off. Okay, yeah.
I know,
No,
right?
what are you doing at the last second?
Mark, tell us a little bit how people can reach you and where is your office at?
I'm office numbers once again is 310 777-5401. I'm in Beverly Hills at Wilshire and Camden Drive, right across the street from Barney's in the U.S. Bank building. Great offices. Been there for 15 years. and I wouldn't be anyplace else. My office got
Right.
great view, as you guys have seen.
Oh,
great,
yeah.
Yeah.
great view of the city.
Yeah, I saw
And,
your office. I mean, it was filled with paperwork.
I was just gonna
but
say,
yet
and
so
organized.
organized. And I like your setup and that you stand up when you work and all that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't sit down at all.
because I
during
was,
the day.
I was worried, like, how does this guy, takes care of all this and he's always on
And
top and all
knows
that.
everything.
And he had like so many files in his,
I'm old-fashioned. I'm a man. I'm very visual, so so I have to see things. But
Right.
we handle a lot of paper, obviously, in our office, and the people that work for me, obviously different offices. So I have a headset. I'm walking. I never sit down during the day. And
Right.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
No wonder you're like 35.
Yeah.
See? Exactly.
He's insane.
Well,
He is.
yeah.
That's fantastic. Wow. Well, so I got to say, so in the final thoughts, do you feel like Yellen's going to be working on those numbers? Our lovely Miss Yellen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, after her last incident last week, not feeling too well. Yeah, I mean, she's, obviously we like her because she's very dovish on the interest rates on the interest rate market. So she's trying to hold rates down, and she's obviously brilliant because she wouldn't be in her position if she wasn't.
That's right.
And I have no problems with her. She's just like disciple of Bernanke. So they like nice loose money, and they're dictated to by obviously by foreign.
She's got to do what
countries.
she's got to do.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
And that compared to what, my father paid an interest, back when he got the house, as we've talked about,
Yeah.
He spent a
The-
huge $21,000, in 1971.
That
for
was with the pool. The price
That was with the
with
pool.
the pool.
With the pool. 18 before the pool,
Right,
and they had the
right.
big fight about it. Then they added the $3,000. They had a bigger fight about it, right? But they think their interest rate was 16%.
Yeah.
So that's like nothing.
It is
We're
nothing,
so
yeah.
used to it.
My first loan I ever did was a $109,000 loan. That's what the Fannie Mae limits were then. Now they're 417. But I remember the client was paying like 9%. It's like he thought it was like
Gold.
go And so it's we're all very stubborn, or not stubborn, spoiled with the interest rates that we pay.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
So,
good signs for
Yeah.
us to continue ahead.
Yeah.
Well, gosh, it's been. I'm so thrilled that you came and saw us today.
Well, it was my honor. It was a very nice experience.
Thank you, Mark. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much.
All right, guys.
We're thrilled that you came today. Thank you so much, Mark.
My pleasure.
And again, please, if you have any concerns or questions you want to reach out to us, you can reach us at glamestates.com. You can reach us at glamestates.com or
562-537-2595 or
323-425-9484.
thank you all for tuning in. Until the next one, glam it up, baby.
You're listening to Glam Estates Radio with your hosts Coco and Gregory, right here on LA Talk Radio.